You know that feeling, right? When you're talking to someone and the words they're saying are fine, they're polite, but the vibe is just totally different. It's like there's this whole other conversation happening, one with no words at all. Well, what if I told you that you could actually learn to speak that silent language? Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's be real. The whole world of dating and attraction, it can be an absolute minefield. It's just a mess of mixed signals, little hints, and just pure confusion. I mean, we've all been there, right? Staring at a text, replaying a conversation, just trying to figure out what any of it actually means.
Yeah, it's the question, isn't it? The one that can literally keep you up at night. Forget the flirty banter for a second. How do you really know? How can you tell the difference between someone just being nice and someone being genuinely interested without, making a complete fool of yourself? It feels impossible, like you're supposed to be a mind reader or something.
And this is where things get really interesting. See, people are great at choosing their words. They can hide what they're really feeling, maybe because they're shy or just not sure. But their bodies, their unconscious actions, oh, they tell the real story. The body, it almost never lies. But here's the best part. This isn't just some random guesswork or a list from a magazine. There is actual science behind all of this. We're about to peel back the curtain and look at the real psychology and biology that's pulling the strings. Think about it. Our bodies are always reacting to how we feel. And when we're attracted to someone, whoa, our brain just floods our system with this cocktail of chemicals. We're talking dopamine, oxytocin, the whole shebang. And those chemicals, they cause real physical reactions. A faster pulse, maybe you feel a little warmer, things that are basically impossible to hide on purpose. So using all that science, we've basically created a toolkit for you. We've got a list of 10 of the most common, scientifically proven, unconscious signs that someone might just be into you. Think of these as the essential words and phrases in that unspoken language. So you ready to become fluent? That's right, 10. 10 clear signs that are going to help you cut right through all that noise and confusion. Okay, so here they are, all 10. Now, to make this super easy to follow, we've broken them down into 3 main groups. We're going to cover everything from their body language to how they talk to you and even how they say goodbye. All right, let's start with the first group, physical cues. This is the stuff that's totally instinctual. It's driven by those brain chemicals we were just talking about. This is body language in its purest, most honest form. So let's break these down. First up, the gaze. You know that look that just holds for a split second too long? That's a literal dopamine rush happening in their brain. It feels good to look at you. Then, listen to their voice. Does it change when they talk to you? Maybe it gets a little softer or a tiny bit higher. That's linked to oxytocin, the hormone that helps us bond. And what about self-touching? Fiddling with their hair, touching their neck or lips. That's a classic sign of nervous excitement. It's a way to soothe themselves. And finally, and this one is huge, check where their body and feet are pointing. Their head might be turned away, but if their torso and feet are aimed right at you, that's where their real attention is. Okay, so that's the body. Now let's move on to the actual conversation, because even if the words seem casual, the way someone talks to you is just jam-packed with clues about how they really feel. Ever notice how they always seem to say things like, "No way, we too," or "I totally get that"? Psychologists call these resonance reactions. It's the brain trying to build a bridge between you two. And what about the topic of conversation? Does it always seem to find its way back to you, your job, your hobbies, your day? That's a classic. It's called other-oriented attention, and it's a massive sign of interest. And if they start opening up, sharing personal stuff, stories, dreams, well, that's them letting you in. That's how we build real connections. Now, all of this stuff kind of rolls up into one really fascinating psychological idea called mirroring. This is when someone, completely without realizing it, starts to copy you. Maybe they lean forward when you do, or use a word you just used. It's their brain's automatic way of saying, hey, we're on the same page, we're in sync. It's one of the biggest tells for building rapport. All right, for our final category, let's talk about space and time. I'm talking about the physical space between you, but also digital space. How a person manages their closeness to you in every sense of the word can tell you so much. Think about it. In our world today, if someone likes a photo you posted 6 hours ago, that's not an accident. That's the 21st century version of leaning in closer. It means you're on their mind. And in the real world, what about small physical touches? If your hands accidentally brush, do they flinch away or do they just let it happen? not pulling away is a huge sign of comfort. And of course, there's the classic lingering goodbye. When they just keep finding one more thing to say, that's them trying to stretch out the moment.
This whole idea of personal space is so important. There's a name for it, proxemics. We all have this invisible bubble around us, right? It's about an arm's length, and we don't just let anyone into that bubble. That space is reserved for people we really trust and feel comfortable with. So when someone lets you into that zone willingly, wow, that says a lot without saying a single word.
Okay, so now you have this toolkit, these 10 signs. But, and this is really important, we have to talk about how to use this knowledge. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's not about getting one up on someone. It's about becoming more empathetic. It really all comes down to this simple idea. When it comes to romance, actions speak so much louder than words. A person's true feelings have a way of leaking out through these little unconscious behaviors. When you learn to see them, you're not just observing, you're learning to listen on a much, much deeper level. Again, the point here is not to be a puppet master. The goal is to be a better observer. It's about understanding what someone might be trying to communicate even when they can't or won't say it out loud. It's about respecting that unspoken language so you can handle things with a lot more confidence and, frankly, a lot more class. Because really, think about it. What's more attractive than feeling like someone gets you? Like they really see you? When you start picking up on these little cues, you're not just playing detective, you're sending a message back to them that says, I pay attention, I notice you. And that, right there, is how you build a real, genuine connection. So, here's my challenge to you. As you go through your day, just pay a little more attention. Notice the silent conversations that are happening all around you. You'll be absolutely amazed at what you start to hear once you learn to listen with your eyes. So the real question is, who around you is speaking this unspoken language right now?